What is up, YouTube? It is Baseball Nerd back with another MLB The Show video. Tons of new content is in the game today. They just dropped a bunch on us. But the biggest thing is Team Affinity Stage 2. As you see behind me, I have 0% done on all of these new Team Affinities. And we're going to go through, look at the best cards I think you should be going for first in each division. They obviously have the Stage 2 Team Affinity. There's a diamond, either a legend or a future star card for every single team. But on top of that, just like Stage 1, instead of having those gold flashback packs, we also have flashback diamonds now. So there's going to be a lower level diamond for each team that you're going to get along the way, those little flashbacks, and then the big flashback / future star Stage 2 Team Affinity card. So I'm going to go and tell you which ones you should be picking first for each of these divisions, going through which ones I think are the best cards, going through their stats a little bit, looking at them a little bit. Let's get right into it because there's a lot of content to look at today. Starting off with the AL East, this is the Flashbacks and Legends pack. You're going to get these along the way. And then this is what the actual Stage 2 Diamond card pack looks like. But looking at the Flashback and Legends, there's some cool cards here for the AL East, but the one I'm thinking actually might be viable is Gary Sanchez. If you're playing on All-Star, the contact against lefties probably wouldn't matter too much, and that 114, 120 power is insane. He could even be a bench guy to replace your catcher later in the game if you need to, if you get, a spot where a righty comes up on the mound and you can put in Gary Sanchez because he has 102, 114 against righties. He's got the 120 power against lefties, and he's got gold defense. And to be honest, I don't think defense matters too much with catchers. The stats are there, but I don't see huge differences in good defensive catchers in the game, minus the stat of the arm. Having a weak arm does come into play, in my opinion, whereas the bad blocking and the bad fielding doesn't seem to make too huge of a difference behind the plate from what I've seen. This Greg Kimbrough could be usable. He's got pretty good per nines. He's got pretty good velo and break. He's got the 4-seam, the 2-seam, the knuckle curve, and the changeup. He just doesn't have great control, which really kind of bugs me. I think having a closer, I want good control. I don't want to give up walks or things like that at the end of a game. So that's the only thing that makes him questionable to me, but he could be a good pick in this pack. Now for the actual Stage 2 Team Affinity cards, I got Jimmy Fox here. He's the Red Sox Stage 2 Team Affinity card. He does have common defense. Not the greatest catcher or first baseman or third baseman, wherever you're going to put him. Not the best defense, but if you can stick him at catcher with that defense, he's got one of the best bats for a catcher. 116, 105 against lefties, and then 75, 92 against righties. He's got a good swing. He's a righty. I like this card a lot every year. I think his defense is never as bad as it, should be based off the stats. So Jimmy Fox is a good pick. And then Jordan Groshans, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but this dude is insane. Last year, the Blue Jays got screwed over with that Kevin Smith card, and it wasn't a very good card. This dude's a shortstop that can play third as well. He's got diamond defense, 70 speed, so he's good on that side of the ball. He can run. And then his hitting, 102, 100 contact, 92, 86 power. That's very viable power and really good contact. I think this is a really, really good card to put at short if necessary on your squad. Now, in the AL Central, looking at this Flashbacks card, the lower level diamonds, Joe Nathan's really the only one I think I would take in this and maybe use on my squad. He's got pretty good per nines there. He doesn't have amazing control, but not the worst, I guess. I like his repertoire a lot. 4-seam slider, curveball, cutter, changeup. And he's got pretty good break on most of his pitches. It's really the control that bugs me, but I'm definitely going to have to try him out and see how Joe Nathan is. Now, in the actual Stage 2 pack, the two I'm looking at is Garrett Crochet and Jim Tome. And for Crochet, it kind of sucks because this is a starting pitcher. And if he was a reliever or a closer, that would be huge. But he's got pretty good per nine still, 99 velo, 99 break, a 4-seam, a slider, a changeup, and a 2-seam. And yes, he has outlier as a lefty. The only thing I don't love is the control. And, I think the break's insane, the velo's insane, he's got outlier, he's a lefty. It's just, I don't really necessarily know if he'll make the starting rotation. He would have been great as a reliever, though. Now, Jim Tome has bronze defense. You can put him at first. That's obviously all you can put him at, and he's going to be fine there. But the hitting, 119, 125 against righties as a lefty bat, this might be the best bench bat against righties all year long. Honestly, 119, 125 is pretty close to max. You get him parallel 5, and you're pretty much 125, 125. I know it'll be 124, but really close. and he can even hit lefties if it comes down to it, if you need him to start for you right now. But it'll definitely be the best bench bat against righties for a while, and will even be an end game bat to be a bench bat against righties no matter who gets added to the game. Now in the AL West, we got this lower level diamonds, and we have Sean Doolittle here, and he's a lefty. He wasn't amazing in the game last year, but he throws a four seam, a slider, and a changeup. I think that's why, for only having a four seam for, you know, his hard stuff and not having a two seam or a sinker to go with it, or a cutter even, and not throwing very hard, that kind of sucks. But he does have really good control, 98, 93, 83 on all of his pitches, and pretty good per nines. So not a bad lefty if you need him in the bullpen for a little bit, but probably won't be like an end game card. Jose Leclerc, I might use this card. He's got really good per nines. He's got good velo, good break. He just doesn't have great control. That's the really thing that's bumming me out with a lot of these pitchers. 45 control on the curve, 60 and 65 on those two pitches above it. Not the best. I mean, his best pitch he has 80 control on. That just kind of sucks. He does have a really good repertoire. Four seam, splitter, changeup, two seam, curveball. Minus not having a slider, I really like that repertoire for Jose Leclerc. Now the AL West, minus me being an Angels fan, is actually one of my favorites. I think there's multiple cards in here I will definitely end up using. Roy Oswalt will be one of them. He's got a really good repertoire. He's got pretty good per nines, and he's got pretty good control for everything except for that changeup. Everything's 90 above. I know the 12-6 is 89 control, but it's pretty much 90 above for all of them except for that changeup. He's got a four-seam, sinker, 12-6, slider, and a changeup. I love his repertoire. He's got 95 break, 93 velo, 89 control. I love the stats on this card. He's got really good stamina, and I like the way he pitched last year when I used his card from the first inning program, so I'm definitely going to use Roy Oswalt. And then being an Angels fan, I was really happy to see Tory Hunter. I'm a huge Tory Hunter fan, but he's a primary center fielder, can play left and right. He's got diamond defense with, you know, parallel 5. He'll have maxed out fielding. He's got a decent arm, really good speed, and then really good hitting stats, to be honest. 93, 117 contact, and then 80, 94 power. Power is above 80 on both sides, and contact's above 93 on both sides. I really like to see that, and I think he'll be a really good card. Definitely going to have to use him for the Angels squad. And then Sam Huff is definitely a guy I'll be going after very quickly. To have diamond defense behind the plate, which I know I said it doesn't matter too much, but it's definitely nice to have 80 fielding, 90 arm, 80 block. He's got 56 speed, and for a catcher, that's pretty good. To go with the 80, 91 contact, and then 105, 102 power, like overall, this card is very balanced and very good at everything. I like this card a lot. As long as he doesn't have a bad swing, I think this card's going to absolutely destroy baseballs and be good behind the plate, and that's going to be really fun to use. Honestly, looking at the NL East, their Flashback and Legends, I don't really love any of these cards, to be honest. I think they're all kind of, you know, not one of the best lower level packs. Contact guys, speed. Even Larry Walker here, not very much power. And then Shane Victorino, obviously no power. So I don't really love any of those cards, to be honest. Moving on to their actual Stage 2 pack, though, there's some pretty good cards in here that I definitely like. And let's start off with this one. Cliff Lee, 6 shutouts in one season, 115 stamina, great per nines, 96 control, 79 velo, 99 break. This year, I think with pinpoint pitching, having control and break like that from a lefty with a sinker, cutter, circle change, curveball, four seam, the speed differentials on his pitches dropping down to 74 on that knuckle curve, up to 93 on the four seam. And then look at this control. I mean, just look at it. 99, 89, 99, 99, 94. 3 out of his 5 pitches have 99 control, and the other 2 are right around 90. This is just insane control-wise, and the break is really good on everything. I think this card's going to be really fun to use. It's got a great repertoire. This is definitely going to be the first card I go after, even before I go after my Angels. I think this card looks insane. Ronnie Mauricio, I don't know how to pronounce this, but this is a shortstop switch hitter. Good contact, good power, great defense, diamond defense. He's got 88 fielding, 95 arm, 94 reaction, and decent speed right there. Switch hitting shortstops with good contact and good power is really fun to see. I like that he has 96, 82 power, because a switch hitting contact guy with great defense and speed could be glitchy, but with that power, he's definitely going to have the stats to back it up. Hopefully he has a great swing. I'm about to try out some of these future stars, but stats-wise, this guy looks insane. Edward Cabrera of the Marlins. They had Sixto Sanchez last year. This year, they get another guy that throws hard, has a sinker. This dude's got a sinker, slider, curveball, changeup, four seam. He's got pretty good control. We've seen a lot worse lately. He's got 90, 86, 83, 76, 85. His worst control is on that changeup. He throws hard. You see the good break there. 99 velo, really good per nines. This card is definitely going to be a must grab for me. And then I'm slightly disappointed with this Hank Aaron, but he's got diamond defense, 67 speed. He plays center, left, right, or third. He's got 85, 125 contact, and then 77, 85 power. If there's a little more power, I'd be more excited about this card. But for a 94 overall, it's a pretty good card. You could definitely use this guy in the outfield. I don't think he's going to be one of the top outfielders in the game, but we'll have to wait and see. In the NL Central, the only flashback and legend pack player I will maybe use is this John Lester. It's the second half of 2016. He's got decent per nines, 83 control, 74 velo, 96 break. This card doesn't jump out at me, but it's a lefty with a four seam, cutter, sinker, sweeping curve, and a changeup. He's got decent control, especially on the top three. That's all pretty good. And then he's got really good break on a couple pitches. I like his repertoire, and I think the speed differential between that sweeping curve and some of his other pitches might be nasty to work around with. A little more of a control guy, doesn't throw super hard, pretty good break on stuff. I definitely think this might be a sneaky good pitcher for an 89 overall. And then in the NL Central Stage 2 pack, definitely going to have to try Johnny Bench. It's the second half card. He's got good contact, really good power, especially against lefties, not great against righties. He's got the diamond defense behind the plate. You could even throw him at first or third. They added a couple good catchers in this Stage 2 of Team Affinity. He'll definitely be one of the better ones. I'll have to try him out. Power against righties kind of bums me out, but everything else on this card looks really good. Bryce Terang, I don't know how to pronounce that, but he's a lefty bat. Really good contact, not great power. Diamond defense, though, with 89 speed, 80 steal. Lefty shortstop's cool to use. He's got everything going for him. He's more of the prototypical diamond defender with the speed and the contact, but no power. But maybe this guy's got a glitchy swing. We'll have to try him out. He's a questionable one on the verge of being a really good card in this program. Quinn Priester, this dude's per nines look good. He's got 83 control, 97 velo, 97 break. All the attributes look really good. He's got a four seam, curveball, changeup, sinker, slider. I like his repertoire. And then looking, there's pretty good speed differential between his four seam and his sinker versus his curveball, changeup, and slider. So I like that. And then looking at the control, he's got pretty good control on everything except for that slider, and pretty good break on everything except for that slider. So he'll definitely be a guy we need to try out and throw in the rotation to see how he does. And then Joe Torre, man, this card looks insane. Completely maxed out contact both sides, 84, 62 power. The power against lefties is, a little bit of a downgrade that we weren't expecting or hoping for, I guess, but it's not too bad. Gold defense, he could play third, first, or catcher. 47 speed's not too bad behind the plate, and I definitely think the defense will hold up. 62 power against lefties isn't amazing, but he'll probably play above that, so not really worried about that. Jumping into the NL West now, their flashbacks and legend pack. Sergio Romo, looking at him as a closer. He's got a slider for his primary pitch, four seam, sinker, and changeup. The four seam and the sinker makes me like this card. He's got good per nines, pretty good control, really good break, but not very good velo. As you see here, he's got really good control on everything except for that changeup, and it's not terrible control on that changeup. Really good break on everything. I like this card. I'll have to try him out. Sometimes not having anything coming in hard makes it a little too predictable, but he's got a funky delivery. He's got pretty good control and really good break, so I'm going to have to try him out at the least. This Breakout Justin Upton card is going to be my bench bat against lefties. 117, 113 against lefties, and he's got not terrible defense and speed if you had to throw him in left or right. He just doesn't hit well against righties, so he's going to be more of a bench bat against lefties for me, kind of like the Jim Tome against righties. And then Heath Bell for the Padres, closer pitcher, four seam, 12-6, sinker, and slider. The four seam and the sinker, I like that combo, 12-6 and the slider. He's got really good velo and break, pretty good per nines. The control's not really there, so we'll have to see how bad or good it is when we actually get him in a game. He's got pretty good break on everything except for that sinker. So we're going to have to go in there, see how well the sinker is, how good the control is, and try this card out. And then our last Stage 2 pack here, in the NL West, we have Brandon Webb, Dante Buchet, Josiah Gray, Tony Gwynn, and Willie Mays. To be honest, I was a little disappointed with this Willie Mays. It's pretty balanced across the board. He's got diamond defense. He's going to be a good defender. He's pretty balanced with his contact and his power, but nothing really stands out to me that would put him in my outfield over another player. And to be honest, I don't love Willie Mays' swing. Even the year when he was the collection reward, I think that was 19, I didn't love his swing that much. I got him, but it wasn't my favorite. So I probably won't go too crazy trying to get this card too quick. Neither pitcher in Josiah Gray or Brandon Webb honestly stand out too much to me. For being a guy, Brandon Webb, that's a little, doesn't throw that hard. Has a sinker. I like his repertoire, but he doesn't throw that hard. He doesn't have great control. and he doesn't have amazing break on anything but his, his primary pitch. So I don't necessarily love this card. It's not terrible, but it's not my favorite card out there. Dante Buchet is the only one in here that I might really actually try to get, just because his hitting stats are insane. 125, 105 against lefties, and then 195 against righties. He could hit both sides of the plate. He has bronze defense, so I'm not going to put him in left or right over the other options I have, but he could definitely be a really good bench bat, especially if he's your last guy off the bench, and maybe they have a spot where they could still switch their pitcher. They switch from a lefty to a righty. He could still hit righties, so good guy for that in my opinion. And his card art is just dope. I love these clubs. These card arts are just amazing. I love them a lot this year. So those are the best cards in my opinion throughout the stage 2 of Team Affinity. Let me know which ones you guys like more or less than the ones I already threw in. And I'm going to show you guys really quick how we're going to get these cards as fast as possible. So the ways you get them is doing these tasks and going through the tasks. The missions are always different things. You get strikeouts or home runs or extra base hits or hits with all the players throughout the program that we just looked at. Then repeatable strikeouts online with players from this division, hits online, plate appearances now instead of innings to get you some Team Affinity points. That's pretty much all of these are just from playing the game. When you unlock one of the guys from this pack or the Team Affinity Stage 2 pack, you need to just put them in a lineup, and whenever you play, maybe if you put them in your offline lineup and play against the CPU, or you play in a conquest map game or anything like that, or an events, you put these guys in your lineup and you come play with them and get these stats, because any of these ones down here can be offline, so you get those guys unlocked, throw them in a lineup and go play conquest with them. Definitely go through and knock out all the moments. That will give you 10 points off the rip for each division, and the moments are pretty easy. And then like I just said about playing conquest, throw guys in your lineup before you start doing the conquest, and then knock out the conquest as those dudes are already in your lineup. It'll give you more points at one time, and the points for the conquest got doubled from 15 to 30 for this stage. March to October I don't necessarily think is a great way to grind if you're trying to knock these out quickly. If you like March to October though, it's a great way to play a mode you like and get points for Diamond Dynasty at the same time. Collections obviously is a great way. Do the flashbacks and legends collections for each division is a great way. If you have these cards and you don't plan on selling them, or they are no sell, come in here and lock in 20 of them to get your 10 points. And then exchanges, it's going to cost you money, but if you go in here, you get the players from AL East and you can exchange them. You can only do each of these once, but you get 5, 10, 15, and 30 for doing each of these exchanges. And then the showdown. We're going to have a whole video going over the showdown, but showdown's probably the quickest way to finish these if you're good enough to finish the showdown every time. Maybe not even be good at finishing it every time, but being good enough to finish it most of the times and not take too long to finish it. You could skip ahead and knock out the showdown. Then this is a great way to grind it out as quick as possible. So guys, that's the video going over my best cards I believe are in Stage 2 of Team Affinity, whether it be in the Flashback and Legend pack or in the actual Stage 2 pack. But either way, that also is how you get them. That's the best ones I see. And all around, I think that's a pretty good recap of the Stage 2 of Team Affinity. A lot of content to go over, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys very shortly on the next one. Peace.